This is Steve Harris from Iron Maiden and British Lion. You listen to Andrew McCaskey from Scars and Guitars.
G'day everybody and welcome to the show. An eagerly anticipated conversation awaits with Marek Šmerda, aka Ashok. He is currently one of two tenured guitarists in Cradle of Filth. Now, the catalyst for the chat is due to an Australian tour. So on the off chance you are tuning into this because you somehow picked it up in the promotional cycle for the tour, I'll put a link into the episode description so you can find out more. But most of you, the absolute majority of you, are tuning in because this chat is another chapter in the Chronicles of Filth. It is only the fourth time that an opportunity has been presented to have a conversation with a tenured member of the group. So let's get stuck into it. Here he is, Marek Šmerda. Thanks for making the time to have a chat right at the end of the Zoomer grinds. Appreciated.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. I've heard a lot about Scars and Guitars podcast. Actually, I listened to some of the previous ones.
Fantastic. Yeah. Which one intrigued you?
The one with Damien Gregory, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting. Yeah, I'll pick up that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to listen to the Stewart one?
Not yet, actually, but yeah, it's a must. So it's on my spot as the next one.
Yeah. I wish I could. I would never go against his wishes, but I wish I could release what Paul had to say about the band. Paul Allender, that is. But he'd prefer to have his thoughts and his expression about the band kept private for now. That might not always be the same, but yeah, it's one of those things where I've just said to him, whenever you're ready to have a chat and you want to actually talk about it and share it, just let me know. And he's got other things going on these days, but he certainly has a story to tell, as I think you're aware.
Yeah, sure. So when the day comes.
How is it for you, though? I mean, you've got some insight into what I've been doing then. Does some of the commentary that you've listened to, does it resonate?
You mean specifically what?
Well, just about all of the band members have some degree.
That's interesting what you are doing, the deep insight research through the band history. I think might be interesting for the fans as well as musical nerds.
Yeah, there's a whole cohort. So I'm in my late 40s, mid 40s, whatever, 46, but who got into Cradle of Filth on the back of Iron Maiden, and I think you're probably one of them in terms of that's your school as well. Because I was reading about your bio, and you're a fan of the work of J.K. Lee and Vito Bratta, and that's the school I'm from as well. So not the goth, excuse the term, but the goth bullshit. Could give or take the vampire and the goth stuff either way. But the musicality and the fact that there was this, Stewart introduced this new wave of British heavy metal styling to black metal, and he was the first to do it. Okay. The two Pauls are certainly the first two guitarists, no question. But the new wave of British heavy metal styling, which you've done a great job threading through the band to this day, by the way. I haven't listened to a lot of the material that you've recorded, but of what I've heard, and I'm just talking about the guitar playing, your guitar playing's first rate. So I don't want you to think I think anything else apart from that. The what you're doing with your guitar playing and threading it, you're definitely from that same school as the Pauls and definitely from Stewart as well.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. I'm more like, as you mentioned, those my guitar heroes. I'm more like a hard rock kid. Yeah, so those elements, I mix those elements with extreme metal, and I think it turned out to work well.
Yeah. How did you join the band?
That was back in 2014. There was a co-headlining tour, European tour with Behemoth, and both Paul and James, for some reasons, couldn't do the tour. So the band was looking basically for spare guitarists for the substitutions just for that tour. Okay? But and I've been recommended by Martin, the drummer, who is my longtime friend, here from Czech Republic, and yeah, things turn out differently. So 11 years after, I'm still here.
So you're the chief songwriter in the band.
Sorry?
You're the principal songwriter.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's a very collective effort, and like everyone in a band is composing. Yeah, so I wouldn't call myself chief songwriter. No, but I'm a part of the process.
Yeah, but you bring in a lot of the riffs, and the riffs are then rearranged. Surely, because as I say, I haven't listened to a lot of the material that you've performed on and recorded, but from what I did, I listened to a fair bit just before in preparation for the chat. I was like, I think I can hear that's your style of playing on there. So is that how it works? You bring riffs into the table, or do you bring fully formed songs, like you all own a song and you just teach the other members?
It's basically both. From the beginning, it's like let's say complete-ish song form, but a lot of things can change and are being changed in the process. But also you have everyone has like a spare riff, which can be used, by another member because he just feels this is right for his song idea. So it's both.
When you're writing, and you're writing with Cradle of Filth in mind, do you go back to some of the earlier albums and write in that mode, so to speak?
Not specifically, but the band for sure has its own style, so you need to think for what kind of band or project you are writing. So just not that I would or anyone would like copy old stuff, but are we inspired? Sure we are.
Have you got some sort of filter through which, when you're writing a riff and you say, oh, this is going to work for Cradle?
Sure. I have the ideas almost every day. When you start to play, there are ideas which can work for almost any kind of style. It's a matter of rearrangement. But for sure, there are, you don't want to bring old classic hard rock riffs into Cradle. Yeah, you need to change them, or because as I said, the band has its own style, and you need to bear it in mind.
That's a great idea, though. To be quite frank, why don't you try doing that?
What do you mean?
Bringing in some of those Vito Bratta style riffs that you've got within you and that style of lead playing.
Yeah, with Vito, it's more like the solo playing, actually. The lead stuff. Not really the riffing. I don't think White Lion riffs, as much as I love them, would fit into Cradle of Filth.
Stuart was taking the band in a very different direction at the time he left, and almost in a hardcore punk kind of a direction. So it's not like as if there is one particular sound that defines Cradle. So when you're working, I suppose Danny must act as chief editor or executive editor, if that's probably the best way of describing it. Do you have a traffic light system for what works and what doesn't?
There's Dan with his vision and suggestions, and also our producer Scott Atkins from Grindstone Studios has a lot to say in a creative process. So we have we actually consult this all together.
Okay, copy. Yeah, right. Yeah. How's writing going for the next album?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, we already started. Yeah, but I mean, the new album is out for release at the start of the next year.
Mhm.
But we already started to work on new ideas for the upcoming one.
Okay, yeah, rightio. Just with regards to Dan, is you drafted into the band. I'm sure you're absolutely aware because you're in the band that at this stage there's been 39 tenured members, including the band members that are currently in the group. Okay. Were you concerned about that aspect of it, that it did have a history of churning through band members?
I mean, yeah, but I didn't know much about the background. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just doing the best of myself, to delivering the best possible of myself.
How do you resolve conflict in the band?
Sorry?
How do you resolve conflict and disputes if they come up?
Communication. That's it. You need to communicate, and I mean, this is not an issue with just particular band, but it's in band general or in a society in general. I would say the lack of communication causing the problems.
Do you have much of a relationship with Des, the manager?
Yeah, we are meeting regularly when we are in playing in America. We actually did two co-headlining tours last year. Two legs, one in spring, one in autumn in America. So yeah, we are in a very good terms.
Have you spoken to Minnie or any of the old band members?
To who?
Any of the old band members, like Paul or the two Pauls? Or
we met actually. I think on my first tour, James McElroy attended a London show, and we actually met him last year at the Netherlands Festival because he's living in Belgium now.
Yep.
So he visited us, but yeah, I think I met Rosie on I think Bloodstock Festival. I think we met Nick Barker a few times because he was playing with the other bands, and that's pretty much it, I think.
What were your impressions of meeting Nick?
I mean, we didn't really talk much. We just it was just say hello. Yeah, great drummer indeed.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. Yeah, he's pretty much the ultimate black metal drummer. Would you obviously, if an opportunity came up to work with him again, you'd take it?
I'm not against any idea like that, but I think the Cradle has the ultimate black metal drummer now for a lot of years, which I'm fortunate to play with.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as I say, it's just, I appreciate I ask these questions, and not to put you on the spot, but so when I ask it, just I'll give you that background that I've spoken to. As you know, I've spoken to a lot of the other band members about some of the issues that have come up in the band. But do you feel as though it's a very stable lineup at the moment?
I think if you look into on the band history, I mean, Martin is in the band since 2006. Daniel, the bass player, since 2012. I'm in the band since 2014, so I would say it's pretty stable.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that from the outside. And of course, the introduction, I'm having a chat to Zoe tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to as well. So
cool.
What do you feel it is about Cradle of Filth? You could pretty much play in any top tier metal band at this stage. You're an accomplished player. But what do you think it is about Cradle of Filth that makes that band unique?
That's a good question. I think it's that uniqueness, that special aura of. It's hard to describe, you really you either have it or you don't. There is just the special kind of mood, almost like a cinematic, like a movie soundtrack style. Yeah, I would describe it like that.
Is the name Ashok, is that something that you had to come up with for Cradle?
Sorry?
Is the name Ashok the pseudonym? Is that something that you had to come up with for Cradle?
No. This is a nickname I'm sporting since my high school years. Actually, that was based on one movie which was back then very popular in Czech Republic. It's not that, worldwide known, so it probably wouldn't tell you anything. But the movie was called The Faraway Top of the Hills. Yeah.
Okay, and you just felt that it resonated.
No, actually, my band names in high school gave me that name. I don't know why. It was based on a main male character, which I was not even similar looking, but it just stayed with me over the years, and I think most of the people might not even know my real name.
True. Yeah, it gets like that. Yeah, especially in black metal when there's pseudonyms. Every second band member has that name. Cradle were the notable exception back in the day, as I'm sure you are aware, where they use their Christian names. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? I read that you're a fan of a multi-instrumentalist like Dan Swano. I'd love to have Dan on the show, but I'm sure you are a multi-instrumentalist as well. So have you thought about doing something solo or something that explores that aspect of your musicianship?
I'm not really multi-instrumentalist. I can play some minor keyboards, but the thing is that I'm a big fan of soundscapes, which might actually tell you something about my possible, the other collaboration or work. So I was for years I was used to deliver those keyboard soundscapey sounds just using my guitar and the other effects.
Right. Yeah. I talked about Vito Bratta and J.K. Lee, but which other guitarists inspired you as a youth?
There are many of them. John Sykes, his work on Whitesnake in 1987 has a big impact. The early Annihilator, Jeff Waters style.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are many guitars. Jeff Loomis is Nevermore as well. Probably one of my top 5 metal bands. There are just too many. Everyone who inspires me can be my hero, and it doesn't need to be famous or big name.
Yes, and you've also listed Peter Gabriel and H.R. Geiger as influences on your approach to artistry. But how in particular Geiger, I hope I'm pronouncing it, this H.R., everybody knows him as the alien guy, and Tom G. Warrior's had a lot to do with him over the years, but how does his art influence your art, so to speak?
It's his visions, it's not just an alien stuff, If you look at his paintings, they are just so inspirational, they are like so out of this world, So what he was trying to make with his art, I'm trying to do with my music.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And you also like classical guitar works such as, neoclassical and McLaughlin and Al Di Meola's album as well. I know you've listed elsewhere. So that obviously inspires you as well. But in what way does that inspire you?
You probably mean the Friday Night in San Francisco by Aldi Meola, John McLaughlin, and
great album. Yeah.
Paco de Lucia. Yeah, it's if I would need to name the number one guitar album, that would be this one. Even it's just acoustics, you know, so inspirational, even for metalhead.
You and I share that then. That's my number one guitar album as well. Okay. And I've done a deep dive, when I went on a radio show, I did a deep dive into Paco de Lucia's playing, and it's just extraordinary because he's influenced many extreme metal guitarists such as you and Ralph Santola. Rest in peace.
Yes. Great Ralph Santola.
Yeah, loving. Did you meet Ralph at all?
No, unfortunately not. But he's you know, his solos were like one of the tastiest one in extreme metal, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's sadly missed. There's no no question. Yeah, it's he's left a huge hole, and us guitar appreciators and the music appreciators, just miss his presence tremendously. But anyway, you've also mentioned elsewhere that you're inspired by anyone that forces you to think. So can you give me an example of a not so well known artist, maybe from Czechia or Czech Republic? I know it used to be called, but how do I pronounce it these days? I don't know. But sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I can be. I mean, we obviously mentioned H.R. Giger, but there are. I can be inspired even by poems, you know, but this wouldn't tell you much because they are in Czech language. But there's a great painter from Czech Republic who I think lived his last year in America, called Alfons Mucha. His paintings are highly collectible all around the world. I mean, every day is an inspiration. You just need to look, you know.
Yeah. What's been the pinnacle of being part of Cradle of Filth so far?
I mean, I think I'm quite proud on my time. I think we delivered a great record, so we definitely left a deep cut in the band's history and did a tour around the world multiple times. Yeah, that's it.
Did you think that doing what you're doing now was possible all those years ago when you were just a kid growing up? And forgive me if I mispronounce the name of your hometown, but is it Brno? Is that how you pronounce it?
Brno, yeah. No. I mean, when I started to play guitar, after first 2 years, I was like thinking big. Like I've seen myself in Ozzy Osbourne's band in like the next 2 years. But then I, joined a bigger band here, and I realized that things are not that easy. So it's kind of part of a dream.
Do you live in Czech still, or are you abroad these days?
I still live in Brno, Czech Republic.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Have you just with the band and the nature of all things, have you thought about having to move to the US or the UK?
I mean, having 2 guys from the UK, 2 guys from America, and 2 guys from Czech Republic, a lot of bands are operating on this mode, meeting just for the tour, maybe a couple of rehearsals. And when we compose the new material, we have modern technologies like email and stuff, internet, that helps. So there's not really necessity of moving. Speaking of moving, I'm as you might know, we are engaged with Zoe, singer and keyboardist. So we're gonna spend times in both sides of the ocean.
Congratulations on that, by the way, and
Thank you.
long life and good health on that regard. Yeah, it's always very special when that happens. Yeah, it's 17 years for me with my wife. We've been together. We've been married for 14 of those. So, yeah, I get it. That's
cool.
You're the first member of the band, tenured member of the band that I've spoken to since COVID. What sort of an impact did COVID have on you and the band?
Well, basically, the lack of touring. Yeah, that's why we missed, Australia on the last, album cycle, which we are about to, settle the bill on this upcoming tour. Gonna play the stuff from Existence is Futile record among the other extras. Yeah, that was the lack of touring, and the record was delayed, and fortunately it didn't took that long. So we've been fortunate to jump, back on the road like in the late of 2021.
When you think of a set list, especially the one you're bringing down to Australia, do you have a lot of say over which songs make the set list?
Sure, as I mentioned, we missed the touring cycle for the last studio album, so we're gonna focus on that. But of course, we are bearing in mind, because we were there, we were in Australia 2018, 2019, so we bear in mind what we played the last time to mix set list a bit. Well, actually, the last time was 2019, and it was Cruelty and the Beast 20 years anniversary. So back then we focused, we played the whole record in its entirety and just a few extras. So yeah, it's gonna be different. No.
Having played that album from start to finish, and Stuart had the heavy hand of that album there. Where do you rate his playing?
Very high. My number one Cradle album. Let's limit it to the time I was not in the band. It's definitely Cruelty and the Beast, and Stuart ideas and harmonies, and just timeless.
What's your favorite song from the album?
You are not making it easy for me.
Well, to play at least anyway. The one you would look for.
The whole album was fun to play. I don't know. I can't pick just one. 13 Autumns, Last Modern Orgasm, Beneath Howling Stars. It just, every song is like an anthem.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, yeah. What about when you're preparing for a show then? Because it looks like quite an intense performance. Okay, you probably are right in the zone these days. But do you have any special pre-show routines?
Couple of minutes just for myself with meditation, and of course a standard guitar warm up. Just to keep your fingers moving in a great temperature.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. What's been your favourite place to tour so far?
You're not making it easy for me.
Putting on the spot.
A lot of places. There are a lot of places I like, namely Australia. It's been too long. Maybe one place has a special place in my heart, and it must be Japan. Just a totally different world, which I fell love into.
Yeah, same. Actually, beautiful country. Can't wait to go back there. What's been the greatest challenge you've risen to and overcome in your time in the band?
Say it again.
Like, what do you think would be the biggest challenge that you've met and overcome in the band since you've been in the band?
Hard to say. Touring, touring, recording. I think the world tour 2018 and 2019 were especially like very intense and rough, but we made it, yeah. So and I think get us stronger, yeah.
Yeah. Are you still in touch with Lindsay and Richard at all?
Briefly, not really. Not really like on a regular basis, yeah.
Just talking about touring, I should have asked this question before I asked that one, but are you still playing Schecter guitars?
Yes, I'm endorsed by Schecter Guitars. Thank you guys. And yeah, still playing Schecters.
Yeah. Obviously you're endorsed, so I am putting you on the spot here again. Surprise, surprise. But if you had your choice to be endorsed by anybody and play any guitar, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, Schecter really do care well about me, so I can't complain. Of course, I have a different guitars as well. My home. I love any kind of guitars, so I love all of the guitars. But Schecter is taking care about me really, really well.
What's your thought on graphite necks?
I don't know if I tried one actually.
They don't go out of tune, or I play status basses and they don't. I can play for 4 hours and they don't change. And I play in a very humid environment, being in Queensland.
Oh really? And is it just a matter of the graphite on the neck, or is it a combination with the tuners, or
This one has this one has graphite rods through it, so it's not a pure graphite neck, but it works the same way. And being a 5-string bass, you often have issues with the
okay. So you mean graphite truss rods?
No. What I was saying, graphite. There's a lot of the Status were doing guitars. I know that, but I rarely ever. I don't think I have seen in person a graphite necked guitar. There's a few basses around. What was the company? Modulus did graphite basses. Status. There's another guitar, a brand new company. When I say brand new, 2015 or so, they were incorporated. I can't remember their name now, so makes the point redundant. But I just figured as a touring guitarist, that'd be one of the things that'd really help you because of all of the environment shifts and the changes you go to from.
Oh yeah. And the transportation as well. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I never tried one. Yeah, maybe you can. Are you attending any of the shows in Australia?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It'd be a bit of a challenge for me to get out with the kids these days. But I might.
So you can show me your graphite neck bass.
Yeah. Well, I actually bought in. I don't know whether you can see this, but I caught up with. Can you see that signature all?
Yeah.
Steve Harris.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
is it from this year?
Last week. Yeah, I caught up with him last week. Yeah.
I heard that they were touring Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, great fella.
Very cool.
Yeah, good bloke. I was the only one to get. Thank you, like John. John. He organised it all for me, and I'm so incredibly grateful for he did that, because you can appreciate, if you've got Vito Brada or whoever it might be, or Paco de Lucia, I've got Steve Harris, and it's very weird to meet someone whose posters you had on your wall when you were 12 and 10 and stuff. It's quite unusual. Sorry, I thought I'd just share that fan moment with you, but yeah, mate. What do you in terms of ambition? What do you hope happens next?
Well, we have a new record coming out really early next year, which we are all really excited about, and I can't wait all the people to hear it. And the new music video has been just finished, so it's gonna be out very soon. So we have something to look forward.
I understand Danny has the lead hand with the artistry and the imagery and the way the band's presented, but how much of a say do you have? I notice you've got the Clive Barker, the Hellraiser thing going on.
Yeah, I mean the pinhead thing. If you look into the Cradle history, the image of a pinhead or Hellraiser was always with the band. So it was just about the time to bring it on stage, which I did, and I think it's been working really well. And by the way, I started with that in Australia back in 2019.
There you go.
That was the first time I tried, like a really brief draft of Hellraiser. Which since then I developed it over the years.
When you listen to the Stuart and Nick Barker episodes, they were writing a Clive Barker concept album before they left the group. So there's a bit of a link there as well. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Apparently there's demos. They actually got to the point where they were demoing it. So Stuart, God rest his soul, isn't around. So I don't think we'll ever see or hear those demos. But gosh, they would be something next level. But isn't it interesting how you've tapped into that without knowing about it? Or you're talking about it being an artifact of the band's history already. But that's pretty significant that you're sort of carrying part of that legacy as well.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah. Australia, I'll make this my last question for you. Thanks for giving me so much of your time. But you've already kind of answered it in some way, but why are we special to you?
Australia. Spiders. Of course. No, I mean, it's just a different culture. And I have actually few friends who used to live in Australia, here from Czech Republic. Yeah. And I have a friends from fellow bands like Neobilly Scaris, great guys.
Oh yeah.
It's just a bit different kind of the world, and it's not like you are here, you are there like every month. Yeah. So that also makes like more specialty.
Copy. No worries. Well, look, Marek, thank you so much for answering my questions and allowing me to put you on the spot there about things. No worries. All right. Thanks very much, mate, and God bless.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too, mate. Catch up. Rightio, what do you think? Another worthy instalment? Another chapter in the Chronicles of Filth? I enjoyed that conversation. I had to pepper him, though, with questions. And my style, as many of you know, is to be a bit more conversational, but that's not a knock at all on Marek whatsoever. We can all only be ourselves. But I also understand that whilst you're a tenured member of any band, you're certainly not going to be talking about any of the perceived negative aspects of being in the group. I hope you think I did a good job too. You people who follow me for the Chronicles of Filth, you're good people, and you know that it's not always about being articulate, but it is about getting to the bottom of things. And I hope I did that throughout that conversation there. If you're new to what it is that I'm doing here, and chances are you are not, but just in case you are, I've had chats with so many members of the group: Lindsay, the great Stuart Anstis, God rest his soul, Nick Barker, Danny himself, yes, I had a brief chat with him many years ago, Paul Ryan, Paul Allender, Ben Ryan. Go and check him out. James McIlroy. Yeah, we're mates these days. He's a good bloke. But go and check him out over at Scars and Guitars. I'll put a link in the episode description as well to make it a bit easier if you haven't already stumbled across that. All right, that's it from me. Thanks again for tuning in. My name's Andrew Mackay Smith, and until the next one, it's a goodbye for now.